right, this is pre-algebra lesson 5.3. 5.3 is adding and subtracting fractions. Now, this should be a review for you. 1/8 plus 5/8. We all know that you just add your numerators. 1 plus 5 is 6, and then I keep my denominator, and then I simplify. So this is a complete review. Remember your steps, though. As you're going through this, remember your steps. Because what's going to happen is they're going to throw in an X or a Y in one of these steps, and you're going to have to know how to figure it out. So remember your basic math. You have to have a common denominator. So let's try these. So 3/7 plus 1/7 is 4/7. Okay, I just added my numerators and kept my denominator. Same thing here. Everybody sees this and they want to freak out, but it's the exact same thing. Notice these both had 7s, and so my denominator was 7. These both have K's, so my denominator is K. 2 plus 3 is 5, so it's just 5 over K. So try these next two, and then we'll go over them. Okay, so 7/10 minus 3/10 is 4/10. And then I need to simplify that and make it 2/5. And then 11y plus 5y. So 11 over y minus 5 would be 6 over y. Because I keep my denominator the same. The denominator is not affected. That just stays y. And then I do 11 minus 5. Just like I did here. My denominator was not affected. It was still 10, but I did 7 minus 3. Okay, so if I have different denominators, okay, 4/5 plus 2/3. So here I typed the problems up, 4/5 plus 2/3, and then I found common denominator. I timed both of these by 3 to get 12/15, and timed both of these by 5 to get 10/15. And that equals 22/15, and then you can write it as a mixed number, 1 and 7/15. I'm sure this is a review. That's why I'm going kind of fast. So now there's going to be some examples with variables. So if I want 1/6 plus y over 4, I'm going to add these together. I need to have a common denominator. So I am going to multiply both of these by 4 and both of these by 6. I'm just finding a common denominator. So this becomes 4 over 24, and this becomes 6y over 24. Now, in order to add them, to get my answer, I keep my denominator the same. Everybody knows that. You keep your denominator. And then what you do is you just combine the two numerators, 4 plus 6y. I can't make it into 10y because the 4 is not a y. Just the 6 is a y. So you just have to leave it like that. Just leave it as 4 plus 6y. They're two different things. Okay, now I have 2y. Whoops. No, I don't. I have 2 divided by y plus 5 over 16. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on my other problem. I'm going to times this by 16 and this by 16. And I'm going to times this by y and this by y. So when I do my work, I have 2 times 16 is 32. 16 times y is 16y. 5 times y is 5y. And 16 times y is 16y. So now I have a common denominator of 16y, and then I have my numerator is just 32 plus 5y. You just combine these and make it into one statement, 32 plus 5y, all over 16y. Okay, so try these two on your own, and then we'll correct. Now, this has a negative sign. When I'm working with negative signs, I hate how they put it in the middle. I always like to put it on the top, and then I know it's associated with one number so that I don't get messed up. You can put it on the bottom also. It doesn't matter as long as there's only one negative sign. I can't do this because then that makes it positive, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I have negative 7/8 plus 3/4. So I'm going to have a common denominator. This one's kind of easy because I know right off the top of my head that this is 6/8 and this is negative 7/8. So negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1/8. And then here I have 3/7 minus 2 over m. So I'm going to make a common denominator. So this is going to be multiplied by m and by m. And this is by 7 and by 7. So this becomes 3m over 7m. And this becomes negative 14 over 7m. So now I combine them. And I get 7m in the denominator because that's my common denominator. And then I have 3m minus 14. And then that is it. All right, so 2 ways to subtract mixed numbered fractions. Which way do you prefer? So Tina's method is you write both mixed numbers as improper fractions. So she took 2.5. She took 2.5 and made it 5 over 2. And then she took 1 3/4 and made it 7/4. So then what she did is she did 5 times 4 minus 2 times 7 and then 2 times 4. So she is subtracting. She's actually making this the common denominator, the 4. And then she does 20 minus 14 over 8 and then she gets 3/4. Now Kevin, you write 2.5 and 2 2/4 and then rewrite it as 1 6/4 before subtracting. So what he does is he does the mixed number and he makes it into, they have this same common denominator. And then I can't do 2 minus 3, so he takes 1 away from the 2 and makes it a 1 6/4 minus 1 3/4. I prefer to do improper fractions, so that's what I'm going to use, but you can use either way. Okay, I'll show you both ways on this. So write this problem down. 5 2/3 minus 3 1/6. So 5 2/3, I can make that into a common denominator. And then that becomes 5 4/6 minus 3 1/6. So this one's pretty simple. I really don't need to change them into an improper fraction because I can do 4/6 minus 1/6. Okay? So 5 4/6 minus 3 1/6. 5 minus 3 is 2, and 4/6 minus 1/6 is 3/6, which is 2 1/2. So this is a pretty simple one, okay? I want to try one that's a little bit harder. So try this on your own, and you can choose whichever method that you want. Okay. So for this one, you cannot just change this into 2/6 and then you can't subtract 2/6 minus 4/6. It doesn't work. So there's 2 ways, okay, if you remember these 2 ways. So let's try Tina's first. Tina changes it to an improper fraction, okay. So she does 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7/3 minus 6 times 1 is 6 plus is 10/6. Now she has to have a common denominator. So then she multiplies this by 2, and gets 14/6 minus 10/6, which equals 4/6, which equals 2/3. Okay, that's one way to do it. Now the other way is, what's his name? Kevin's method is he borrows from the 2. So here's what he does. So he says, okay, 2 1/3, if I times this by 2 and times this by 2, it would be 2 2 6 minus 1 4 6. Well, I can't do 2 6 minus 4 6 because that's a negative number. So I am, instead of doing 2, I'm going to take 1 away and make that a 1. And then I'm going to add 6 to my numerator. So then I get 1 8 6. So it's kind of making it a mixed improper fraction number. It's kind of crazy. And then I do minus 1 4 6. That way I can do 8 minus 4 and I don't run into a problem. So 1 minus 1 is 0 and 8 minus 4 is 4 6, which is 2/3. Either way you get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which way that you want to do it. All right, that's it for your notes.